Easy math with Miss Easley.
Hey everyone, today we're going to learn all about two-step equations, and it's related to my last video on non-proportional relationships. So if you'd like to check that out, it will really help you with this lesson as well. So a two-step equation is just like it sounds. We're going to be solving an equation, balancing it out, and we're going to end up doing two different steps. So it could be two different operations in order to find what that variable equals. So let's try a really simple example just so we can practice the idea of balancing both sides of the equation. Then we can move into some real life examples that involve this. So here's my simple equation. So we have 25 equals 2n plus 5. So what do you think we could do first? The goal is to get the variable on one side, the letter on one side, and then we work to find what it equals on the other side. So what could we do first to start getting that variable by itself? Okay, so some of you might remember this from 6th grade, that we can start by, since we see that plus 5, we can start by subtracting 5. And what we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other side, so that we're always thinking of that balance. Okay, so let's subtract 5. And so now we have 20 equals 2n. So now here's that second step. What can we do to get the variable by itself? Okay, some of you also remember this from 6th grade. So if we see something like 2n and there's no operation symbol, that means that we're multiplying. It's like two groups of that variable. And so dividing by 2 would be the opposite. So let's divide by 2 on both sides of the equation. And what do you get? All right, so I see that 10 equals n. So now we've found the value of that variable is 10. So that was a good way to start. I always like to start with something kind of simple. Now we can move into some more challenging equations. So now I'm going to take you shoe shopping so that we can see an example of this type of equation in real life. Okay, so this is a really easy way to bring two-step equations into your everyday life because there's a base price of the shoes, right? So they're $40. And then there's also a price for the charms. And in this case, most people like to buy more than one, right? So they might buy a 5-pack, let's say. And then we go up to the register and our total is $60. And we want to know how much did each of those charms cost? So let's see if we can build an equation out of this. So we know our total is 60, so let's put that on one side of the equal sign. And then we know we bought 5 charms. We don't know how much each one cost though. So let's put a C as our variable. So 5C plus the amount of just the shoes by themselves. Those were $40. So now we have a good two-step equation built. So now this looks very similar to our problem that we tried first before going shopping. So I want you to pause the video, see if you can find the cost of the charms, and we'll come back and check your work. Okay, let's see if you did the same steps as I did. So I started by subtracting 40 from both sides. We always have to remember that we're trying to balance this equation, and if we do something to one side, we have to do it to the other side as well. And so now I have 20 equals 5C. And now let's check your second step. So I have to divide by 5 on each side to get C by itself, to get the variable by itself. And then finally, I have that 4 equals C. So that means in this case, each of those charms cost $4. Okay, great job. Okay, and now I think we're ready to move over to the whiteboard and try more two-step equations. I hope this video helps you in your math class or at home. See you next time.